Here's my audience.
There is one question that has plagued my family for years, and that question is, will I be the next to die? How many of you have had family members who have had to face a similar question, or perhaps you yourself, when thinking about the dreaded C word, cancer? It's a devastating disease, and it's one that my family has been forced to coexist with for years now. But as Robert Klitzman says in his book, Am I My Genes?, you don't have to succumb to your DNA. And that's something that we've learned over the years. Our story with cancer starts with my maternal grandmother, who I never had the pleasure of knowing. She passed away when she was 34. All three of her daughters inherited her gene for cancer, and they have all fought the battle, and my mom lost hers at the age of 35. So it's something that we have definitely felt a lot of pain and heartache from, and so along with my cousins, my siblings and I made a vow to never let cancer have another victory over our family. Today I'm going to persuade you to make the same decision that we made, and I'm going to persuade you to seek genetic counseling by seek genetic counseling to determine whether or not you carry a mutated gene in your own family so that you can make important choices for your own life. The main topics that I would like to cover are what genetic testing and genetic counseling are, how to start the process, and what to expect at your appointments. So what is genetic testing? It is a process where you give a DNA sample to be analyzed to determine whether or not you carry a mutated form of a gene. The mutation will occur in the exact same spot for every family member. The counseling aspect is going to help prepare you for your results and help you cope with them once you get them. Your genetic counselor will also help you make decisions for preventative treatments to lower your risk. This picture shows pretty much exactly what happened with my sister and I in our experience, and I talked to quite a few of my cousins who have also gone through genetic counseling and have had different genetic counselors, and they've all had the exact same experience that we did. So this was just like it. She held up a chart, showed us our family and everything, and it's actually a really cool process to go and learn, you know, aside from it could perhaps be a devastating outcome with your results, but it's actually very important and very informative, very interesting. This was our genetic counselor, my sister and I, Jill Polk. She works at Hillcrest Hospital in the Cleveland Clinic as well. This is her phone number if anybody is interested. She was fantastic. Sorry, I couldn't find a better picture of her online. So how do you go about finding a genetic counselor? You can do a simple search online, or as Clarissa Long suggests in her book, Genetic Testing and the Use of Information, you could ask a family oncologist for a referral or suggestion, and that's what we did to find ours. So once you found your counselor, you need to make your first appointment. Sorry. And at your first appointment, like I said, you'll go over your family history. You will talk about what measures you need to take if you decide not to get genetic testing. For example, if I had chosen not to get genetic testing, since cancer is so prevalent in our family, I would have had to get MRIs every 6 months and mammograms every 4 months, just to be sure, because it is a very aggressive gene in our family. So you'll go over that. You'll also go over some preparation for your results. And you don't talk too much about preventative measures because you don't know what your results are going to be. You have your blood drawn at your first appointment, and that process will vary depending on whether or not you've already had a family member tested for breast cancer or whatever it may be. In our case, my mom had already had her blood drawn after she had had cancer, so it was less of a preventative tool and more for she wanted her children to be able to go and have this process and be given a chance at life. So It all depends your waiting time. For us, the turnaround was 2 weeks for them to analyze our DNA and see if they could pinpoint the mutation exactly where my mom's was. If you're the first one to get tested, it's going to take a lot longer because they have to comb through your entire DNA to find exactly where the mutation occurs. And then you just wait. And then at appointment number 2, you're going to get additional counseling, kind of like a recap, and then you get your results. You're given preventative options at this point and time to let the news settle. For my sister and I, we both got different test results. I was the first girl in our family to test negative. She tested positive. So it was a pretty rough appointment for us. They went over her choices as far as getting a double mastectomy, which she ended up getting at the age of 23. And that took her risk from 87% down to below 10%. So she's actually below general population right now for her chances of getting cancer. So you're going to come up with a plan and schedule a future appointment. This is my actual copy of my test results. It just says no mutation detected. It tells you what test was performed. And of course hers looked a lot different, but just a little example. So could you imagine what it would be like to not have to wait for cancer to sneak up on you? By getting ahead of it, you can avoid it altogether and live a long, enjoyable life. So I hope that I've been able to convince you that although this process may seem scary at first, it is necessary. So what we went over again was exactly what genetic testing and counseling is, how to start the process, and what to expect at your appointments. As Andrea Farkas Patenaude describes, this process is a sense of entitlement and empowerment. And I can absolutely vouch for that. And I feel that I can speak for my siblings as well. It gives you a feeling of power that you don't have to wait for cancer and you can take control. So to conclude, I'd like to share a picture with all of you. Whenever I need my mom, this is where I go. And that is because of cancer. So it's not something to play around with or something to take lightly. It's certainly never anything that we thought that we would have to deal with. It's nothing that my mom thought that she would, lose her life at the age of 35. And it's definitely something that you need to be progressive with and just make sure that you get on top of it and take care of it. So I truly hope that you guys will take that into consideration, and if you have any questions about genetic counseling, I'd be more than happy to answer whatever I can and also give you my genetic counselor's info, anything else that you guys would need. So thank you.